Hello everybody, welcome back to a video, and today, I know I said we're heading for the modern day last time, but I decided let's go back in time. More specifically to 1948, the election that's most infamous for the picture of Harry Truman picking up and holding the Dewey defeats Truman picture. Well, today we're going to see if we can actually make that picture a reality. The actual paper that's in it, by trying to get Thomas Dewey to victory. The 1948 election begins with President Truman trailing badly in the polls. Thomas Dewey, loser in 1944, is wildly expected to redeem himself this time around. Truman not only has to deal with Dewey, a moderate Republican, but also with two splinter candidates. Henry Wallace is a far-left candidate with the Progressive Party, and Strom Thurmond runs as a Dixiecrat. Some hot issues are the Soviet Union, civil rights, the Do-Nothing Congress, and the Taft-Hartley Act. So we're running as Dewey. Thomas Dewey, governor of New York, makes his second attempt at the presidency. He became famous for his prosecutions of mafia figures in New York and is an exemplar of the Republican Party's Eastern business establishment. Dewey waged a hard-hitting campaign against Roosevelt in 1944 that alienated some voters. Advisors this time are recommending that he take a more cautious, conciliatory approach, especially in light of the huge lead he enjoys. All right, Earl Warren. Earl Warren is the current governor of California and enjoys massive popularity in that state. He has pursued a modernizing agenda in California, building a huge, well-funded highway and university system and other public works projects. He would add a number of crucial votes in his home state and would distinguish the ticket nationally as a sensible, moderate alternative to Truman. Harold Stassen is a former governor of Minnesota who resigned to serve in World War II. He was an opponent of isolationism and is a youthful rising star within the party. He made his own bid for the Republican nomination this year, providing a serious challenge to Dewey. Right. He is also from the liberal wing of the party and might help slightly in the Plains states. He has also opposed Dewey throughout the nomination process. John Brecker is a former governor and current senator from Ohio who served as Dewey's running mate in 1944 on a ticket that lost to FDR. He is closely aligned with Robert Taft in the conservative wing of the party. Both Brecker and Taft are popular in Ohio, and they helped Dewey win that state in 1944. If the election tightens up this time, Brecker's influence in Ohio could prove critical. However, the country does seem to be moving away from Brecker's brand of isolationism. Arthur Vandenberg was influential in the founding of the United Nations and has built his reputation as an expert on international affairs. His selection would send a clear message that the days of Republican isolationism are over. He has supported many of Truman's policies, such as the Marshall Plan and the proposed NATO organization. On the other hand, he was a leading opponent of Roosevelt's later domestic policies. Man, it seems like Warren's the only good option here, so we're going to go with Warren. All right. What do you have to say about your announced running mate, Earl Warren? Earl Warren is a great man who represents my views for the future of this country. Now let's get going with this campaign. A wave of strikes and economic turmoil has led to bipartisan support for a new labor law. Do you support Truman's decision to veto the Taft-Hartley Act? I support Truman's veto. The National Labor Relations Act was put in place to protect the rights of labor, and it should be respected. Absolutely not. This is a perfectly reasonable measure designed to prevent a strike in one industry from crippling the American economy. Okay. Well, by supporting Truman's veto, let's distance ourselves from Truman. This is what your supporters want to hear. Okay, good. Let's see what we've got. Okay, let's try. Let's go for Minnesota. The Jewish state of Israel is set to declare its independence on May 15th, 1948. Do you support Truman's decision to recognize this new nation? I've supported the Israeli state from the beginning. I'm glad to hear that Truman came around, but he is absolutely sending the wrong message by vacillating on the issue until the very last moment. I believe it was a hasty... Okay. I support the Israeli state. Let's go with this one. Your attacks on Truman are making headlines. Pundits speculate you will repeat your aggressive tactics of 1944. Well, I'm just doing that. Okay. Let's see. Let's avoid that. Advisors are advocating a cautious approach this fall to preserve your large lead. Okay. Shoot, that helped Truman. We've only got a couple of deep red states. Vermont and Maine. Let's campaign in Truman's turf, the South. Okay, to what extent are you prepared to make anti-communism an issue in this campaign, or do you plan to attack Harry Truman on the issue? Okay. If you remember my debate with Harold Sasson, I got this nomination in the first place by remaining above such type of politics. Okay. Somewhat true, but it seems like you're leaving a potential line of attack on the table. Do you have any comments to make on the Soviet blockade of Berlin and the airlift in progress to resupply that city? We're not going to threaten to use a nuclear bomb. That could hurt us big time. Let's go with this one. Berlin airlift is dominating the headlines, building positive sentiment for Truman, but that's the way things go. Okay. Montana. What will be the main focus of your accepted speech at the convention? Let's talk about what I've accomplished. Okay. Or we could attack Truman, but that's not going to go well, so let's talk about what he's accomplished. It's a positive campaign message, and it should especially reinforce your lead in your home state. You're making a whistle-stop tour of the country to promote your candidacy. What region will you visit over the next 2 weeks? Let's see. This area is kind of looking interesting, so let's see. The West Coast. You're certainly drawing good crowds, but word has it Truman's doing even better on that front. Fortunately for you, you should win where it matters. In the ballot box. Okay, we're still in the lead. If we can keep the lead, then we'll be good. We just went to Montana. Did not realize I'd clicked on the same state. Let's go to Arizona. What are your views on a federal health insurance program? These are definitely programs. We should not have the federal government involving itself in the healthcare business. Private enterprise has built an outstanding healthcare system. Yeah, let's go with that. This answer pleases conservatives in your party. Do you support the federal funding of primary education, and if so, in what form? Okay. Let's go with the research option. Advisors are advocating a cautious approach this fall to preserve your large lead. Okay, yes, we're remaining good. Wisconsin. In general, what is your view on providing foreign aid to American allies? I support this kind of thing in limited cases where there is a clear threat, but I'm worried about some of the ill-defined, open-ended commitments we're getting ourselves into with other countries and with the United Nations. Let's go with that. That seems like the best answer. Your party has passed a fairly ambitious and liberal platform which you have supported. However, if the Republican Congress won't pass these laws now, how do you expect to push them forth as president? Okay. Just in the past 12 months, Congress has passed the Marshall Plan and Taft-Hartley with bipartisan support. They've passed an expansive farm bill and will be considering housing legislation soon. I don't see why I couldn't work with this Congress. I believe that a Republican Congress working with a Republican president will be able to come to an accord on the key issues of our time. What Truman really means when he calls the Do Nothing Congress is that they won't pass a program for national health insurance or the drastic expansion of Social Security. I will attack Truman for calling a pointless session for his own political purposes. Let's try to go for some of the positive things. And, we're still winning. Okay. For some reason, it's showing Truman on top, but I'm still winning. Okay. Wisconsin is tied. What are your views on the expansion of Social Security? I think let's go with that. Would you support an act that would allocate federal funds for the construction of low-income housing? Let's work out a good solution. Your party is pretty evenly split. Okay, there we go. All right, we're doing good, but Truman's making up ground. So, you know what? Let's go to Alabama. You're making a whistle-stop tour of the country to promote your candidacy. Let's head to the Midwest. Okay. What are your views in general on the Marshall Plan? Obviously, Europe needs some kind of aid. I support the Marshall Plan. I believe that is a waste of resources, provocative. Yeah, let's go with this. Obviously, Europe needs some kind of aid after the horrors of World War II. I will be careful to see that this plan is fairly administered and does not become excessive. The Marshall Plan is one measure of Truman, and George Marshall has broad support. Okay, what are we at now? Oh, no. This is becoming close, and we're not even halfway. Okay. We don't want to hit anywhere where we could lose votes. How will you reduce the inflation rate, currently around 10% annually? Yeah. Control spending. The House Un-American Activities Committee, is it going too far in its attempt to root out communist influence, or should it be doing more? I'm not very comfortable with the activities of this committee. I believe they should be scaled back to a minimum. The HUAC is not something I plan to address very much as I campaign. It's a necessary defender. Let's go with something I don't plan to address. Okay. And Truman's winning. Okay. This ain't good. We need a big swing. What do you think about the proposed constitutional amendment to limit the president to 2 terms in office? Yeah. Let's go with that. I support this amendment as a necessary step towards the political health of this nation. We need to periodically have a fresh point of view in the government. Ours is not an imperial nation. This answer pleases the majority of Republicans. What will you do to help resolve the severe housing shortage in this country? Say in a couple of years after the end of the war. But I can already see that new houses are being built by private developers to resolve this shortage. And I can only predict that this trend will continue without any special action by the government. Let's go with that one. And we're losing even more. We need a big swing. Okay, Minnesota. You're making a whistle-stop tour. We're going to hit the West Coast. Actually, let's hit the Plains and Mountain States. Do you advocate for the international control of nuclear weapons under the United Nations? Let's go with that one. We need a big swing. Okay, that helped us out. Actually, no one's winning. We could maybe try to get it a Congress vote. What do you think about proposals for the federal government to build an expansive interstate highway system? Okay, you're making a whistle-stop tour. Okay, let's go with the only option we haven't done yet. Okay, where are we at now? Truman, yes. No. Oh, wait. No, I'm not playing as Truman. I'm playing as Dewey. I'm losing. Big time. Pennsylvania could be a good one. Before you head to New York to spend the election day, is there one last place you want to hit on the campaign trail? Okay. Why not campaign in New York itself? I think maybe by going too moderate, I might have lost this. We're just going to go to the final results. Yeah. Pundits and political pros are shocked at your collapse. The second guessing will likely come fast and furious from your party. The Republicans have now lost 5 presidential elections in a row and have no obvious standard bearer to break the trend in 1952. As for your own career, you're still the governor of New York, but it's pretty unlikely you'll give another chance to prove yourself on the national stage. I think I did slightly better in real, and then yeah, I did better. I made it a closer race, but oh boy, okay. So, we're going to head back to 1948. This time we're going to try to sink Harry Truman. Okay. Alban Barkley is our only pick. So, a wave of strikes and economic turmoil. Limiting the power of labor unions. Sign it. This might make you look a little bit more moderate, but your relations with the labor have gone from bad to worse. It's probably not worth it on the balance. Okay. We need to go with probably the worst options. This certainly hurts you in New York. And yes, okay. So we're doing the classic trying to sink a campaign strategy from my Goldwater video. Okay, a young liberal Senate candidate from Minnesota named Hubert Humphrey is pushing for a civil rights plank in the Democratic platform. You can either encourage this movement or nip it in the bud. Yep. Let's do that. Yes. Strom Thurmond will cost you some southern states, and hopefully you can make up for it in other regions. Do you stand by your decision to implement a loyalty program for employees of the federal government? Do you believe communist infiltration is a serious threat right now? Okay. Of course, you've expressed reservations in private, but it's going to be difficult to win this fall if you're defending yourself against communist allegations everywhere you go. Okay. Let's see. Slightly winning New Mexico. The Soviet Union has blocked West Berlin from receiving any supplies. What are your thoughts? Okay. We need to do whatever it takes. Is there anything you can say during your expectant speech to shake this race up? I'm going to eviscerate. Here we go. There might have been a better line of attack. Yes. All right. Georgia. You're making a whistle-stop tour. Okay. Midwest. Dewey seems to have the advantage, but pundits admire your spunk and fiery speaking style. Would you support an act that would allocate federal funds for the construction of low-income housing? Okay. This is what... Oh, no. Okay. I'm still I'm still losing, which is what I want. I want to try to sink Dewey. Okay, you're calling for a pretty far-reaching platform as you campaign, but the current Congress has refused to consider many of your proposals. How will things be different in your next term if you are elected? Okay. Let's try to make him partisan. Oh, no. Okay. What are your views on a federal health insurance program? There we go. Total votes show I'm making ground. Okay. Do you support the federal funding of primary education? There we go. General, what is your view on... Okay, we can make Truman the biggest flip-flopper on this. Well, after a long career, some people wonder what you're talking about. You seem to be giving isolationist talking points now. Yes. Yes. We thank you, Truman. Okay. What are your views on the expansion of Social Security? Oh, wait. You know what? Social Security was started by FDR, wasn't it? Okay. So let's flip-flop on the issue. There are definitely some murmurs about what you mean by this. You're making a whistle-stop tour? Okay. We're gonna hit the West Coast. Wait. No. The South. No, there's no option for the South. Eastern Seaboard. There's some chatter about whether these crowds you're drawing signify anything. You're the underdog for sure, but maybe you're onto something. Okay, we're still doing good, but you know what? Let's head for a Thurman state, Mississippi. What do you think about the proposed constitutional amendment to limit the president to 2 terms in office? Okay, so FDR served 4 terms, and only he might have ran for a 5th term if he had lived to see it, because he actually died not long after his 4th term started. There should not be a limit. Some diehard Roosevelt supporters agree, but overall there's a broad support for the amendment. Yes. Let's say it should be a little more aggressive. Henry Wallace has instantly derided you for such comments, though they might be playing well in the heartland. Okay. We could get Dewey to victory. What would you do? Okay. Federal housing. No, wait. The highway. How will you reduce inflation rate? Okay, wait. Let's see. Control spending. Yes. These are odd talking points for a New Deal Democrat. Okay, we're trying to make Truman seem like the weirdest flip-flopper ever. Okay. Oh. He started the Marshall Plan, so if we can get him to diss his own plan, that could help us sink him. You're repeating isolationist talking points and trashing your own policies as president. What is going on? You're making a whistle-stop tour? Okay, what are we doing here? Okay, so this is the strongest part, but you know what? Yeah, Midwest. There's some chatter. Okay. So actually, we've got it about where it was in real life almost. We've only got a few hard blue states. Chosen to visit Arkansas. How satisfied are you with the overall economy at present? Aha. People are scratching their heads at the speech you just gave. Does this represent some kind of break with the Democratic leadership? Current federal budget surplus. Um, yep. Okay. Oh, look at that. Dewey 406, Truman 87. We're looking at an almost a Cold Water type loss for Truman here. Given the Soviet threat, do you support the Selective Service Act which has been passed, even if it may lead to a peacetime draft? Oh, you will never see me support the conscription of American boys into the military during peacetime, whether it be in 1940 or in the current time or in a future time. In the world we live in now, we need to remain vigilant. You're making a whistle-stop tour. Okay, what are we looking like? Okay. I mean, does it really matter? California. Why not? Okay. We're about to get a big win for Dewey. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's go to New York. See if you manage to pull it off. Election night will be interesting. So now we sit back and we watch. And hopefully I have actually managed to accomplish my goal, which is this time to sink the Truman presidency. Okay. Because that was my goal, was to get Dewey elected into the White House. So, we failed doing that. I think, with the Dewey run that I did, I definitely went with the mistake he made in real life, which was being too quiet on actual policy matters. We need 266 to win. And I think we're about to get that. So, yep. Sorry, you've lost the election this time. Click OK to view the rest of the returns or skip straight to the final results. We hope you have a nice concession speech prepared. Go to final results. Sorry, you have lost the 1948 presidential election. It was always going to be a long shot after your first tumultuous years in office. With luck, Dewey will defend the New Deal reforms and continue your foreign policy. As for you, who knows what history will say of your presidency? You made some momentous decisions, but will ultimately leave office under a cloud of unpopularity. Perhaps you could serve another term in the Senate? Which actually didn't happen with Truman after he ultimately wound up leaving the White House. But going to the Senate after the presidency, that was actually something that John Quincy Adams did. So here's the map. We gave... Truman got a little bit of a boost there at the end, but yeah. So here's the results. This game, Dewey... Okay. So yeah, Harry Truman in real life got 303 electoral votes, and Thomas Dewey got 189, and Strom Thurmond got 39. This game, Thomas Dewey got 380, Harry Truman got 133, and Strom Thurmond got 38. It seems like he actually did a little bit better in the popular vote, which is interesting. Either way, that is it for this video, and in a sense, Dewey defeats Truman. Like and subscribe. Bye.